Hi everybody. I've been working a little bit in one of these books from Denik. This one is one of the lay flat notebooks, which I found out on the label, they say, or it must have been on the inside. Let's see. Oops, I'm just writing on everything. It says multimedia inside pages. So I thought, okay, even though it is just 100 GSM paper, I'll give it a shot. So the first thing I did was just take a bunch of ink that's water soluble and put it on this. I did put ink on. This was a, what are those, platinum preppy pens or whatever? One of these kind of pens. Yeah, the preppies. Here it is. I used the green preppy and I just scribbled around. That's the lighter green. And then I went back in with a marker, the darker green, which was a lot more juicy. And excuse the sloppiness, but then I took my brush, my silver black velvet brush that holds a ton of water, and I put that to the test as well. This part was watercolor, but then when you look at the back side of the page, I did have a little bit of bleed through, but not as bad as I would have expected. I mean, I was shocked that it wasn't worse. And normally with sketchbooks, I just do one side of the paper anyway because you get the lines and stuff from your pen showing through, you know what I mean, the bumpiness from the pressure. So then this morning I did this little sketch. It was just like a 10-minute sketch before I went to physical therapy, and it worked out just fine. The only thing is I had a couple dots here and a little bit up here where I worked a little harder where you can see the ink through, but very, very little. And I've been using my Uniball grip pen. These are nice pens. I really like these. They are waterproof, and I can show you right here. I'm working on another sketch right now, and it just occurred to me that Gilberto said, I want more drawings. And so I thought, well, I'm just sitting here on my couch. I've got my little TV tray or whatever sitting on my lap, and my lap tray, and I was just drawing. So I will go ahead and finish this. I'm going to grab my little tripod to hook onto my TV tray, and that way you guys won't get seasick, hopefully. Okay, my phone is acting up, so I hope this video turns out. This may be a little bit sideways, but I can turn it later. That's fine. I think, yeah. My phone has got all sorts of flickering stuff on the screen. They're sending me another new phone that'll be here tomorrow, but I'm hoping my video looks okay, because what I see on my screen looks super lousy. So I'm putting the branches in and leaving spaces for leaves so that they don't show through, kind of like I made the mistake here on this tree. If you can see it, I put the line all the way down and then I was working through. So I've got to try and fix that a little bit, but that's okay. It's jagged enough that I don't think it'll be a problem. This one I didn't do that to it, so we'll just see how it works. Oops, I'm going the wrong way. There we go. Okay, so here's the finished pen sketch. Now, I don't know if I should try and add color to this or not. I think I will, just so I can show you exactly what it will and it won't tolerate. Now, you could easily add colored pencil or even watercolor pencil to this, and it would probably work just fine, but I don't have that sitting here, so I'm going to go ahead and do regular watercolor. Just got my Daniel Smiths here, and grab my brush wherever I put that. There it is. And I'm going to try to go easy. I'm going to start with the mountains, I believe, and I'll grab a little bit of that hematite that I love so much. Let's see if I can move this around. I don't have a lot of space. It's a little wet and juicy. I don't want that much on there. I want it to be a little bit drier. But I had to activate the thing. This is going to be hard to do with the mountain back here. And I'm going to just grab some Piemonite and add that to it. Oops, I went a little over. And then while my brush is dirty, I'm just going to dip into my ultramarine blue. If I can get it to go here. My brush is getting really dry and I don't want to ruin my brush. But this ultramarine, I think, adds such pretty contrast. I need a little more of that Piemonite. Need a little water on my brush. And a little more ultramarine. That will also mix in with the leaves that I'm putting on, so that should be okay there. I'm going to change that a little bit. There we go. Okay, so that's it for the mountain. Let me try the sky. I can't do a wet into wet, so what I'm going to do is just take some ultramarine and I'm just going to scatter it around like this. Just to give that impression. You know, this is just a sketch. It's not like a super duper terrific painting or anything. It's hard to keep my brush wet enough, and then it drags across the paper when it's too dry, so there we go. I think that'll be plenty. If I do too much, it's going to soak through. See, right now it is not soaking through the other side at all because I'm keeping it fairly dry. So this book is tolerating the paint fairly well. Now I'm going to go ahead and do my tree stump down here. I'm going to grab some raw sienna to start. And then a little bit of yellow ochre. And then I'm going to go ahead again with my ultramarine. I'm shaking my brush after I rinse it. I don't even have a paper towel here, so it's supposed to be darker in there, so I'm just going to add that. Got a little too blue. That's all right. I'm going to go ahead with some hematite. There, and that fixes it. And make my circles here a little bit bigger. It's fun to just play around. It's really testing the limits of this thing. Oh, here's a paper towel I can use. I'd like to get some more of that Pimonite in there and make it a little bit redder again. Brighten it up. There we go. Now, I'm going to go ahead with the raw sienna and do the tree trunk over here. I think I will do the whole thing right now, and then I'm going to go back and darken one side. I'm just throwing this color on. I'm not trying to be super neat or stay inside the lines. I kind of want that sketchy look. I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit of ultramarine to this one side so that it's in shadow a little bit. There we go. The wind is whipping today. My husband was going to go fishing, and I don't think it's going to happen now. Oops, after all that, it was just a Verizon survey because I am getting that new phone, and they do surveys every now and then. Ugh, drives me crazy, but I wanted to let them know that the guy who helped me was really good. There was no problem at all sending me out a new phone for free. Verizon, I've always been happy with. I can't say that about other companies I've been with, though. Okay, so now I'm just doing these pine trees, and actually, before I go on, it'll be easier for me to just put in grass. So what I'm going to do is mix up my grass colors here. And that way I can drop it in right over the trees, and it's not going to be a problem. And over these leaves and everything. That way I don't have a lot of negative painting to do like I do around this stuff. I'm going to add a little bit of yellow to it. I'm trying to use up this aureolin I have. It's got a lot of green in it. It seems I use that a lot for that. Okay. These books are actually not too bad, but they're very inexpensive too. I have to check prices. I haven't been doing that. Now I'm going to add a little more blue to this green. But I want to fade it out. Dilute it. There, and then I got to dry my brush off a little bit. There we go. Alrighty, so that part's done. Now I'm going to go back to the trees, these pine trees here, and I may just use some of this green to wet my brush with. That'll be easy enough. Too much liquid. Ooh. Can't forget what kind of book I'm using here. But you guys are going to see how it works. There's that. And I'm going to take a little bit of my, I think that's rare green earth or something, and I'm just going to put some grasses in. This is too dry though. There we go. And let me do my rocks too. Rocks are always fun to paint. I'm going to grab some hematite genuine again. I am just loving this color. Putting it down here. Going to dilute it. Put some up here. And then I'm going to grab some diamonite again, using the same colors I used in the mountains. Don't want to introduce too many colors either. You want to keep some color harmony going. And then again, I'm going to grab my ultramarine. Oops. There. Now I want to mix it together a little bit because it's just not. There we go. Leaving a little bit of white. And now I'm going to go back, grab some of this for grasses. Shouldn't do it while it's wet, but that's all right. I don't care. Now, the only thing I have left is the tree, but I see here I didn't do all the sky, so I'm just going to put some blue in here a little bit, because I'm going to have some sky holes, so I just put that in there. That'll work. And then I'm going to use sap green. Again, I'm not painting in every individual leaf. I'm just giving the illusion that it's all a bunch of leaves together. I see I missed a branch there. I got to paint too. Getting a little bit of wrinkling with the page, and since there's not a elastic closure on this book, which I wish there was, that's one thing. I really like elastic closures that keep my books closed, because when they get ripply pages they start to stand open on their own, you know what I mean? I'm sure we've all been there before. Okay, now I'm just going to paint that last branch here that I missed, grabbing some raw sienna. And I think that's about it, people. So there's my quick sketch. And, oops, I needed to do a little bit more on the back here. These trees, I didn't do those. Let me just do those real quick. I'm grabbing some really deep green. I think this is either undersea green or else it is rare green earth. Might be rare green earth, I can't remember. There. Now, let's flip over the page and see what happened on the back side, shall we? Okay. It's not dry yet, but let's see what happened, how much it came through. I had a lot of water on there. I tried to keep it dry, but it looks fine. Nothing came through to the other side. So for 100 GSM paper, This paper takes a beating. I will tell you that for sure. I think it takes a good beating. So that's it, you guys, for this book. You've seen me use watercolor. You've seen me use ink. And you've seen me use water-soluble ink. And all three seem to tolerate fairly well. So that's it. Also, I finished my other book, my Pentalic sketchbook, and I thought I had it here. I do have it here. I got it all done, so I'm thinking I might just do a quick flip through video of all the stuff that's in here. So some of it is not good, and I may skip over a couple pages out of embarrassment, but anyway, that'll be in another video. So everybody, be courageous, paint with wild abandon, and most of all, be kind to each other. God bless you. Bye-bye.